Hello, my friends. For today's reading, we have the Phoenix representing you. And we have the Curse and the Earthkeeper, number 14 and 18 respectively, from the Shaman Oracle that I use. And this is to help you know if this reading is for you. Then we have these animal spirits. Oh, I can't show you that one. Darn it. Hang on. So this is a new deck for me. It's an oracle deck, a gift from one of my daughters. I love my daughters, but they can't seem to figure out the difference between an oracle deck and a tarot deck. Well, possibly one of them can, but the other one, I keep trying to explain to them what they mean and not getting anywhere. So we've got a definite sort of earthy theme going here. Okay, so the Phoenix, I'm going to move this up a little bit. The Phoenix is, well, this is from Kim Kranz's Animal Spirit Guidebook. But the Phoenix, of course, is known for bursting into flames and then leaving behind a pile of ashes and an egg. Ashes, so in Chinese medicine, this is fire becoming earth. Okay. Phoenix, freedom from suffering and past karma, reincarnation. The Phoenix represents the transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The Phoenix employs an advanced techniques described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication, tapas. The essence of the Phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. At that very moment, the spark of the Phoenix is lit, and the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we might have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the Phoenix lifts our spirits up, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign that the fire of transformation is upon your wings. The Phoenix and the first chakra. The ancient yogis believed that our heaviest karmas reside in the first chakra. This earthen center is also called Muladhara, or our root. The ascent of the Phoenix begins here, and as the entanglement of karmas is slowly burned, it rises from the ash toward the navel center. Again and again, it makes this journey from first to third chakra, purifying our essence, freeing us from the past. So, perhaps you are finally dealing with some past issues, survival issues, because that is also the root. So it would be root chakra. It would be survival issues, inner child issues, things that date from our childhood that we are perhaps not terribly conscious of or aware of most of the time. But here you are, becoming conscious, transforming that old stuff into something better, something more useful. As I said, there's a lot of earth in this reading so far. All right, let's move on to the Curse and the Earthkeeper. This is also supposed to help you know if this is your reading. So it should say something to you. Oh, I forgot to mention. No, we'll do that in a minute. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. All right, 14, the Curse. You may feel that you've been cursed. The essence. The curse refers to the limiting stories of our ancestors and the karma from former lifetimes that preordains the events of our lives. So here we go again. Karma, limiting beliefs. It is the source of negative patterns, and it can show up as a disease, a destructive force, or a block on our creative energy. The curse holds us hostage to a false story that we confuse for reality. Recognizing the original wound that is playing out in our lives can heal it. So once again, we return to the idea of an original wound in your life, perhaps most likely from childhood, family, culture, societal programming. The invitation: it is time to recognize the source of your limitations. Did your grandparents live with a mindset of scarcity? Did your parents? Did you inherit genes for heart disease? Were you a slave or a master in a past life? This karmic legacy is ready and waiting to be seen, to be untangled, and to be released. Exactly what the Phoenix does. Honor the players and their stories. Forgive everyone and everything. Craft a new life course for yourself. I am a believer in acceptance rather than forgiveness. Forgiveness can make it okay to continue a bad pattern, where acceptance simply says, okay, this happened. Let's move on from here. It doesn't say, let's repeat this. And I think that's important. The medicine: be aware of your actions. Act with impeccable intentions so as not to create a debt or karma that sooner or later someone has to pay. What you do to others, you also do to yourself and to the people you love the most. Now you have the opportunity to clean it up. Okay. Definitely an emphasis on transforming or cleaning up karma here. 18, the Earth Keeper. The essence: just as you're involved in co-creating your world, you are also responsible for its well-being. The Earth Keepers are dedicated to the stewardship of the earth and all life. They choose to hold the sacred dream of a planet where all beings live in peace and where the rivers and the air are clean. Remember that everything you do has an impact for 7 generations. The invitation: you have outgrown your small dream of success and achievement and are ready to dream big, with possibilities beyond your wildest expectations. Take on the mantle of the Earth Keeper and reach out to a friend in need whom you may not have been in touch with for some time. Take care of your pets and feed the strays that come by. Clean up your yard, as this is a reflection of your relationship to the earth. Grow the sacred dream, and your personal life will flourish. Remember, it's not about me any longer. All right. Sounds like you're ready to step out and become more than you were. You've been burning off a lot of karma. The next step is to be of service. The medicine: as you care for your body, you show your care for Mother Earth. So begin with the stewardship of your health. What are you putting in your mouth? Are you feeding on foods and thoughts that are not good for you? Start doing what you know will be good for you today. So it's time for you to take care of yourself, as well as your immediate surroundings, environment. Time to be of service. Wow. Well, what do you expect when the Phoenix comes out? You're not getting an easy message. Okay. So next we have the Susan Seddon Boulay animal cards. Let's see. They are called Animal Spirits. The Animal Spirits Oracle. So I didn't see this one at first, which is typical, of course. You'll understand when you see it. Coyote. Of course I didn't see Coyote at first. Coyote is the trickster, right? All right. Here's what the back of the card says. Symbolism: transformation, creation, cunning, good fortune. This coyote embodies the trickster, a mischievous but heroic supernatural being that uses magic, cunning, or deception to achieve its ends. Most Native American tribes of the Pacific Northwest claim the coyote to be their creator. In some legends, the coyote forms the different peoples of the land from the various sections of a great beaver, which it has slain. Indigenous peoples of the Great Plains also regard the coyote as a teacher and magician. In all of its roles, the coyote is a benevolent figure who intentionally or unintentionally helps to restore balance and order. The rather pensive coyote woman in this painting, titled Coyote Woman Waits, is a character from Buffalo Gals Won't You Come Out Tonight, a story written by Ursula K. Le Guin and illustrated by Susan Satin-Boulay. Okay, so that was my trickster card that was hiding when I laid out all the other cards. So I don't know how the trickster god is active in your life, but you may want to consider it. All right, this one is the parrot. Symbolism: love, prophecy, verbosity, mediation. Well, that's interesting. You have somebody you need to work things out with? This parrot has had a variety of symbolic meanings in different times and places. In pre-Columbian America, it was considered to be an oracle able to predict the weather. In Hinduism, it is an omen of love that carried Kama, the god of love, on its back. Pueblo peoples of the American Southwest have considered the parrot a supernatural bird of the sun, an association that likely arose from its brightly colored plumage. Because of its incessant chatter and ability to imitate speech, the parrot has also been associated with foolishness and loquaciousness. It means you talk too much. However, this talent for speech also deemed the bird an interlocutor between the human and spirit worlds. So that's pretty powerful. All right, so love, prophecy, verbosity, mediation. And then we have wolf. Symbolism: creation, healing, purification. I'm trying to see if, yeah. Coyote was also creation. All right. The wolf, although portrayed as a marauding villain in numerous European cultures, wolves are deities in many indigenous cosmologies and are a popular totem. Like the raven, which also appears in this painting, the wolf is a hero and creator. In some legends, she is the trickster sibling of the coyote. Another trickster. So let's see. Yep. Definitely some connections between wolf and coyote. Okay. In some legends, she is the trickster sibling of the coyote, Quileute, I'm not sure I pronounced that right, and Macaque tribes of the Pacific Northwest ascribe healing power to the wolf and perform a wolf dance in the skin of the animal to cure the sick. In the early Roman cult of Lupa or Feronia, the great she-wolf, also known as the mother of wolves, was the divine midwife and matriarch of the ancestral spirits. She was honored in an annual festival of the she-wolf and was invoked in purification rituals. In the Roman legend of Romulus and Remus, a wolf nurses the two heroes and restores their strength. All right. Of course, there's also the myth of the lone wolf, which is very popular in at least certain circles. The truth is, however, that a lone wolf usually dies pretty quickly. It is not a healthy wolf, and wolves are pack animals like humans. Although some of us can manage to spend a great deal of time alone, for the vast majority of us, it does not lead to good health. Certainly not good mental health. I say this as somebody who prefers to spend a great deal of time alone. But I recognize that I also need some interaction with others. Perhaps that may be you as well. So, all of this was to identify you and help you decide if this was your reading. It went in slightly different directions than I expected. And let's find out what the message is for you. Oh, I was going to look at my... No, I don't want to go that way. I do feel like going with another oracle deck. However, since we have gone with a Native American theme so far, let's continue that. What is your advice, message for today? Sometimes all you need is to hear who you are, where you're at, and, some indication of things that you need to be looking at. Maybe you've gotten that already. But let's see. This particular deck is very difficult to shuffle. So the great mystery, of course, is the divine. And powwow is coming together with others, sharing, quickening, which is kind of a repeated theme for you. This idea that you need to come together with others as well as be alone. But the divine is active in your life. There's definitely a lot going on with you spiritually. Apparently you're working very hard with your karma right now. And you need to be taking better care of yourself. It's not unusual for, there's a lot of dancing at powwows. And, of course, music and singing. And healing. So perhaps that's where you're at. I think I'm just going to pull from the Wisdom of the Oracle and see what kind of message we get from that. That was a few too many cards. I got chaos and conflict. I keep thinking this relates to a reading I just did. Or maybe a couple of the shorts I just did. All right, 33. Well, perhaps you will check them out and see for yourself if they relate or not. Okay, chaos and conflict. Essential meanings. Disarray, being at cross purposes with another. The tension of opposites. The value of chaos before order. That is worth remembering. Things usually descend into chaos before a new higher order is created. Coalesces. I don't know. Comes into being. Anyway, the Oracle's message. Opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes, and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. So perhaps a focus on listening for you. Protection message. This is an advantageous moment to restore order and recognize the opportunity for negotiation. Even in the seeming chaos, there is a kind of divine order, a complete resorting of elements. This is powerful. If your intention is to find the best solution for the highest good of all, there is positive news. The timing is perfect. Things are already stirred up, so don't be afraid to jump into the mix. You'll discover everything you need to know about how this situation affects you long term. Be present in the eye of the chaos. This moment is valuable. Don't waste it. Okay. So, seems like there's a lot going on in your life. And I would definitely check out the shorts that were published today because I think they might be relating to this. I am wishing you all the best.